Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 7th of September. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have EML Payments, SevenWest Media, Quarria, Coles and Devex Resources. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you're getting a free newsletter, but my best stock tips come out on Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report, so make sure you are subscribing to that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management, so give me a call about a broking account and we can have a talk about that. And any advice here is general only. So EML, we could see very poor performer over the past couple of years, but just zooming into this potential sort of base here, clearly that high volume break was the recent buy, so it's been sort of edging up. But when you get a big amount of volume like that, despite the move being very large, that volume tells you that that's the buy signal. So look, it's had a good run. Obviously, you can't chase it after it's moved that much in a short period of time. So obviously, you'll get some sort of consolidation. It might be similar to what we've seen in these periods here, where it just eases back. But better to wait for a consolidation. Okay, SevenWest. Look, if we zoom out, we've covered this one before, but there was a very obvious sort of head and shoulders here. Last year it broke, that was a sell signal, and we could see it's been trending lower. I mean, most recently we've got sort of back to this low and not really being able to bounce. So that was the next warning sign, and then it's again broken on volume. So looking oversold in the short term, and you're naturally getting a bit of a bounce, but I think that's just a short-term move, and it's likely to resume the downtrend, or at best it needs to build a bit of a base and head sideways for a while. Okay, QOR. So if we look at, again, zoom out, we've got this sort of longer term downtrend, but it does look like it's trying to break that downtrend now. So firstly in June you had this, it's almost like a little mini base and then a breakout to a higher high. So that was the first sort of buy signal. And then with this price action here, you've got what looks like another sort of consolidation, ascending triangle. Bit of a break, I think, being a low liquidity stock. It's moved around a bit and sort of dipped back into the range, but it looks like it does want to continue trending higher from here. Okay, Coles. So big sort of, you've got the break here and then continued lower on volume. So short term it's looking oversold, but I think it's likely to head lower a bit longer. I mean, if you're looking for sort of divergence with the RSI, I mean, if we have a look at this period here in September, the RSI started to head higher, but the share price still headed lower, and that got you the buy signal. But I think we're still too early to see that here. So I reckon at least a few more weeks before you'd consider trying to trade a bounce. And if we look longer term, you've got this sort of range, so it's getting towards the bottom of that range. So perhaps in the next few weeks or so, you'd be looking for a potential buy. Okay, and Devex Resources. So, I mean, just pretty range bound over the past year, really. We've got this sort of movement higher here, but quite a bit of volatility in the past few weeks. So if it was building up to a move, I'd prefer to see sort of small range, low volatility, and then the breakout gives you the big moves. But we're seeing the big moves now, which isn't ideal. So I think I'd rather wait. I'd say these peaks here near 38 cents, let's call it, is your line of resistance. I'd rather wait to see it clear that, and that would be a more reliable buy signal. Okay, well, that's all for this week. If you have a request, please send it through.